Well, I hope the wind isn't too noisy for everybody.
Hope not.
But we got some rain coming in here after a while. That's what they're saying. So we're trying to get as much stuff done as we can anyway. But what we're fixing to do, we're fixing to install a light bar on the van. And this light bar, it's a 22-inch light bar. And it came from Auxbeam. And this is the first in our procedure to get it mounted. First, I want to show you where I was considering mounting it first. My original intent was to mount the light bar here, right here on the bumper right here. But when I got to digging into everything and saw the way there was really no holes to go through on the firewall, and I didn't want to have to drill new holes and everything, I decided to look into another alternative. And so then I was wondering how in the world, because we have these ladder racks up on top that we were hauling the kayaks on. Here's the other one right up here. But we're not going to be hauling the kayaks on those anymore because we're going to rearrange how we carry everything on the inside. Right, dear?
Yes. We've already done that, I think.
Yeah, so we can always haul the kayaks on the inside from now on. So then I got to wondering, how can I mount the light bar to that round tube? And all of a sudden this light came on, and I thought, well, what about muffler clamps? And I measured the diameter of the tubes, and since I don't have a set of calipers, I simply used a C-clamp and, you know, just lightly put it around the width of the tube and then measured it, and it came out to 1 5/8 inches. So what I ended up doing, I checked with O'Reilly Auto Parts, and they happen to have 1 5/8 inches muffler clamps. In fact, they've got them in a large array of sizes, smaller than that and larger, of course, and got them for a whopping $4 a piece.
I think so.
$3.99 each, if I remember correctly. And it works really, really quite well. All we had to do was, you know, take this bracket here. Now, we did have to drill out the holes in the bracket here because they're originally for like 5/16 bolts, and this particular muffler clamp is 3/8 bolt. Anyway, we've got this light bar mounted here. It really, really is working well. And, you know, you get your bolts nice and tight, and those ain't going nowhere. I can't make them move for nothing. So I think it's going to work. Do you think it's going to work?
Looks like it.
Give us a minute. We're going to go ahead and mount this back up on top, and then we'll be back with more of it. And hopefully we can get all this done today. If not, we'll have to wrap it up tomorrow. But they won't know that, will they? Unless if we tell them.
Unless you tell them.
Well, I won't tell them if you don't tell them. We'll be right back. Okay, full disclosure. Full disclosure?
Disclosure? Disclosure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Full disclosure. It's not the next day.
1,000 hours later.
I wish I could find that.
I do too.
No, it's not the next day. It's a few days later, and the main reason why is because to do this installation part of it, we needed Eternabond tape, and we thought that we had
We did.
a 25-foot roll.
And it disappeared.
Yeah. So we had to order more and wait on it to come in. So now we've got it. So,
Yes, it came in. Actually, we went and picked
Yeah.
it up yesterday.
yeah, but we did go ahead and set the ladder rack with the light bar mounted onto it back up on the van. I'm going to show that to them right quick, okay?
Yep.
All right, let's go over here. And the wind's blowing a little bit today, and I had to do a little bit of touch up on the van. You know, this is a Chevrolet van, and it's got that typical paint peel problem. And of course, the wind wasn't blowing at all until I got ready to start spraying paint, and that's how it goes. But anyway, there's the light bar mounted up on the van there. I kind of like it. I think it's going to be pretty cool, and the muffler clamps are working out very well. If you can see right there, working out really, really good. And I went ahead and spray painted them so they wouldn't rust with Rust-Oleum paint, which you can see right here. I've got it painted on both sides. Now we're fixing to go ahead and start running the wiring harness down into the van, and let me show you about how we're going to be doing some of this. right quick, and then we'll get involved in it, and then we will come back and show you what we did. All right, what I'm using here, I'm using a typical solar panel type junction box up on top, you know, with the gland nuts and everything, and we're going to be taking this down through the roof. I've went ahead and made up the wiring harness here, and this is a waterproof connector that very simply plugs in to a connector that's already on the harness that's connected to the light bar up on top of the van. Now, this wire in this wire right here is only number 14 wire, and of course these gland nuts are made where they go from number 10 up, and well, actually they claim they'll go clear down to number 14, but when I tried to tighten down to the existing skin that's on these wires at the existing coating, they wouldn't tighten down to my liking. So what I did, I laid on, which you can't really see unless if you look real close there, maybe you can see it, but I laid on 2 layers of heat shrink tube to make that a little fatter, and that way when it comes through, and you can't see it there either, but maybe you can see it a little bit, but that made that fatter, and it sealed a whole lot better, and I like that a whole lot better. And then I used some larger heat shrink tube right here to go ahead and protect that clear up to here. And of course the wires coming down right here are what's going to head to the, and it's a lot longer than we need.
Yes.
but that's what's going to go into the fuse panel, and I'm not going to go ahead and take it apart yet, but this is the fuse panel right here, and this has 8 different circuits on it, and this kit also comes with its own breaker right here, and this is a extension cable that you plug in to the fuse panel, which goes to the 8-position switch. Can you dig that out for me, babe, so they can see that a little better? Yeah, this is the 8-position switch right here, and we're going to mount that in a kind of a unique way, but because we have plans for the future, so we're going to mount it in such a way where it'll work for what we have planned in the future as far as the van's concerned. All right, but for right now, we're going to get to work on this other, and we'll come back in a little bit and go into a little bit more detail about this right here. All right, I've got the wiring harness done up here on top. Let me show you how I did that. There's that waterproof connection, and there's the other wiring harness that I already had made up, and it's running along here, and it's going down through the roof right here. And I used Eternabond tape to stick this down ever since I used Eternabond tape here a while back on the solar panels up on top of the trailer. I won't consider anything else. That stuff is stout as can be. So anyway, now we'll go inside and we'll start figuring out how we're going to mount everything on the inside. I know I've been working you to death today, haven't I?
Well, it's not the hard work, it's running and fetching tools. I'll be glad when we get all the tools back in the van.
Yeah, be nice, and you just reach for them right there, but and that time's coming before too long.
I know.
Yeah. But anyway, we finally got the light bar working.
Yes.
Of course, we're not going to show them how well it works till in the morning.
Right.
Early in the morning, and I'll explain more about that here in just a little bit.
Sounds like a plan.
But I'm going to go ahead and show them how we ended up hooking all this up.
All right.
All right. Of course, I already showed you where I have the wires going down from the roof. And let me show you in here. If you look right up there, you can see where the wires are coming down. Now, yeah, I know some are going to say, why didn't you run it on down through the bulkhead there? Well, there's no holes through the bulkhead. That's all closed off. And it was way too hard to get a drill up in there. So I just simply took the wires outside it. I'm going to run a little bit more Eternabond tape on that to protect the wires even more. But I've got them running down. I did go back into that, that brace right there. And they're going down that brace right there. Now let's go over here to the other side, and I'll show you a few things over here on the driver's side. Now we decided to mount this here on this bulkhead. And we have this bulkhead here because we haul a lot of stuff. We have a false floor here in the van. Some of you that just joined us recently maybe aren't familiar with our setup, but we have a false floor in this van that's roughly 24 inches off of the floor. It's a two-tiered system, so we can haul certain things down here below, and then of course our kayaks fit on this false floor up above here, among other things that we carry inside the van right here. And this bulkhead that we have right here, of course, is to protect us in case something was to slide forward. So we decided to mount all of the brains of the outfit here. And of course, there's the fuse panel, and you see the switch right there. What I had to do, because I had to get, you know, a full 12-volt signal up to this, there happens to be, and I know you're going to have a hard time seeing it, but there's another fuse panel. This van has two fuse panels, and there's one right underneath the driver's seat here. And there's a hot wire that that comes to feed that panel, to light that panel up. And that's where I tied in. What I ended up having to do is go to O'Reilly's and buy a number 4 battery cable, and maybe you can see it here. And I've got it routed where it goes up in there and ties in to that terminal, which is on the back side of the fuse box that's underneath the driver's seat here. So that gave me a hot signal, and I come up here and go into the breaker, and from the breaker you see the red wire going off, and of course it feeds the positive side of the fuse panel. And then of course the ground wire, what I did, I simply tapped in to the body, because you know the body's grounded. There's ground wires all over this thing going to the chassis, and brought it up and tied it in to the ground terminal on the fuse panel. Now the neat thing about this fuse panel is it does have 8 separate circuits on it. 8 separate circuits, and you can't see them, but buried in that media just to the left of the fuses you see there, there are little relays, a relay for each one of those circuits right there. And the way that works, then you've got this switch that you plug in. It's a regular plug and play system. You can see where I connected it right there. And you know, it does it all on its own. I can't explain it beyond that. Some of you that are into that kind of thing, you can probably explain it beyond that. But you simply run this braided cable that you see right here, comes in and goes in and plugs in where that 4-pin connector is right there. Then there's a 2-pin connector right there that's actually supposed to plug into an accessory circuit, like when the key is turned on. I couldn't find a keyed fuse in this breaker box underneath the seat. So what I did for now, I'm simply just bringing that particular wire up and over, and got it temporarily just here and I have it tied into the hot lead on the back side of the breaker here. What I do intend on doing is getting a small switch that I can put in line there, so when it's time to turn everything on, I can just simply throw that little switch, get a little rocker switch or whatever, you know, and put a fuse in the line, of course, as well. But we tried running this without this little line connected that's supposed to go to an accessory circuit, and nothing would come on. Even though we had everything else hooked up, nothing else would come on until you had that on. So what we're doing for now, we're just simply turning the breaker off and on when we get ready to use it. But once I get this little switch that I already got ordered, and I'll mount it where it's easily accessible, then all I got to do when I'm ready to use this system is, you know, reach down and turn on the little switch, and then everything else will come on when I'm ready for it to come on. And that means I can leave this breaker on all the time. Now, another reason why we mounted the switch right here is because our intention is to build a center console right here that will house a lot of stuff that's necessary for us when we're traveling. And I'm also going to build a real neat little built-in perch on top for Delilah. She actually sits on a couple of storage containers right here, is how she travels with us in her carrier. But I'm going to build this console instead. And there's enough of this switch cable right here that it will reach all the way over where I can mount the switch at the front of the console, and then it'll be right there, easily accessible. And when we need to work on the engine or whatever and pull the engine cover off, this console will be easily removable, And then all I'll have to do to unhook the switch is just simply unplug where the cable plugs in right there. And then everything will work. Now, I hope that's all clear as mud. What we're going to do now, I'll tell you more about it here when we get over here with Deb. One of our jobs that we have to do when we go back on duty tomorrow.
Yeah.
in the booth. But one of our jobs that we also have to do is there are 3 separate day use areas that we have to go unlock gates early of the morning. We have to get up at 5:30. Yeah. And they all have to be open by 6 o'clock. And of course, this time of the year, it's still pitch black dark.
It's still pretty dark.
Right. So what we're going to do in the morning, and that's another reason why we decided to get this light bar up there, is for that, among other reasons as well, but it's going to really be handy for that, is we're going to take you along in the morning, and we're going to show you how this light bar works in the real world, you know, using it to see so we can unlock these gates. All right?
Yep. And you will learn with us.
Yeah, you'll see what we get to do. That's the worst part about this job, is having to get up at 5:30, get those gates opened up by 6 o'clock.
And everybody goes, boo, boo.
I know, nobody cares. You know, and there was a time when I got up at 5 o'clock all the time.
Yeah, it was no big deal.
I know, but not now.
Not anymore.
We're going to see you in the morning, okay? All right, we'll see you in the morning. Good morning, everyone.
Is it a good morning?
Yeah, it's a good morning. Oh, it's about 5:40. Looks like someone's launching a boat. Or taking one out, one of the other all-night fishermen. Morning chore. Got 3 different gates to unlock here right quick. And the first gate is just right up here. Babe, if you'll do the honors. Whoa. I'm going to turn off the regular lights. Looks like I might need to adjust it just a little bit. Wow. Can you see, dear?
I can see. You get it? All right. Well, that made that nice.
Yeah, didn't it though? I can adjust that up a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's dark. Now we turn on the headlights. This is the overlook that overlooks the dam. Of course, you can't see much at night, huh?
No.
Now we're headed across the dam. This area we're getting ready to unlock up here is called North Park, and scuba diving school uses this area here for teaching, and they usually show up real early in the morning. We've had people waiting for us before, but
Not that many.
Never this many. Yeah, this is. Yeah, it's a bunch of scuba divers. If you'll hit the light, dear. There we go. Uh-huh.
You too.
That's over with. Yeah, we got one more. So this last one we're going to is the main day use area, which is right next to the dam. And we've had people waiting for us there as well before, to make a day of playing on the water or picnicking and what have you. And oh man. I'm really glad that we got this light. Here, let me lift up on this. Okay. Put my lock there. Got it?
Got it. That made that light up.
What'd you say?
Much better than your headband light, huh?
Yeah. I would say much better. All right. We're gonna go back to the house and probably gonna nap a little more before it's time to get around, huh?
Probably.
Okay. We'll talk to you guys later. Well, here we are back in the booth, working away. Did you get any rest in your nap?
No.
Anyway.
Somebody turned the sun on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, I think we're really going to like the fact that we added that light bar, don't you?
We are amazed.
Yeah.
Didn't realize the light bar would make that much improvement.
I know. And the cool thing about that 8 circuit fuse panel and the way that switch works, we'll be able to add more lights later onto the van, which we intend to do, and they'll all be from Auxbeam. So we'll have them all to match. We'll post a link in the description and in a pinned comment to that particular light bar that we used on this, and also to the kit that gives you the switch and the fuse panel and all that. It's a really cool setup, and it's gonna really be a nice addition to the van, especially if we ever get caught out
in the dark,
late at night in the dark,
lost,
like Google Maps did to us one time and got us lost down a cow trail.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have better lighting to see around. Anyway, we got to get back to work here. We just thought we'd take a quick moment to say thanks for watching the video, and again, we'll post a link. Be sure and just go in and Google Auxbeam and look at all the different lighting packages they have in their line. They got everything under the sun. Anyway, we're going to let you go for now. This is Bill and Deb with I Ride Tiny House Adventures, and you know what we're going to say. We're not camping.
We're living.
You all get out there and do some living, and we will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.